Over the past few years, Korean film and television have made waves across the globe, but besides the production quality and dramatic storytelling, one key aspect is often hidden behind it all, and that is the increasing use of traditional Korean folklore. Many global audiences are drawn in by the fantasy, horror, or emotional intensity of Korean media. However, when you look into it more, these works are deeply rooted in long-standing spiritual beliefs, with more emphasis on shamanism, concepts of moral attribution, and the close relationship between the spirit world and humans. In this video, we'll explore why this traditional Korean folklore is starting to become more popular in modern media and how productions are starting to adapt these beliefs in ways that resonate with both local and international audiences. Traditional Korean folklore is heavily influenced by shamanism and Confucian moral philosophy, especially during the period of the Joseon dynasty. A central concept in Korean cosmology is that the boundary between the dead and the living is not entirely fixed. Spirits may stay behind due to an unresolved guilt, trauma, resentment, or injustice. This concept is often connected to Han, a deep emotional suffering or grievance. In the past, these beliefs were used to help explain illnesses, natural disasters, or social instability. Folklore also helped reinforce moral order, where actions disrupt balance, and balance must eventually be restored. Many scholars have stated that this moral framework still continues to shape Korean narratives today, even with the modernization of supernatural elements. A great example is The Wailing, directed by Na Hong-jin. On the outside, this film is set as a rural horror story about mysterious illnesses and violent deaths. However, critics have stated that the film is deeply inspired by Korean shamanistic ritual and spiritual uncertainty. The extended exorcism scene demonstrates real mudang practices, rather than the typical Western-style demonic possession tropes. Violence is not the only factor that creates fear in the film, but rather the uncertainty about spiritual imbalance and moral confusion. The audience is never given a proper explanation regarding the evil force at work. Many analyses of this film argue that the uncertainty reflects the traditional Korean cosmology, where good and evil are not always clearly defined. Instead of relying on the usual Hollywood horror conventions, The Wailing builds tension through culturally specific rituals and unresolved spiritual tension. The international success suggests that culturally grounded storytelling can increase global appeal rather than limiting it. A more recent example is K-pop Demon Hunters, which combines idol culture with demon mythology. The film may appear modern at first glance, focusing more on fandoms and performance spectacle. However, commentary from Korean media outlets suggests that this film draws directly from Korean folk demonology. The idols almost act as modern shamans who are mediators between worlds and protect society from spiritual harm. Something interesting to note is that folklore here is reframed. The traditional rituals are replaced by concerts and choreography, yet the narrative still remains similar. Spiritual imbalance threatens society, and chosen figures must restore this order. This shows folklore's adaptability. It can visually evolve while maintaining its symbolic core. Folklore is a central theme in Hotel de Luna. This drama is based around a hotel for ghosts who cannot move on to the afterlife due to unresolved regrets and resentment. This concept aligns with traditional beliefs about spirits lingering due to unfinished emotional business. The show frames the hotel as a liminal space, neither fully part of life nor death. Each episode resolves a ghost's personal grievance, restoring moral balance. While the series presents romance and fantasy aesthetics, its narrative logic reflects older spiritual ideas about karmic justice and emotional closure. The popularity of the show demonstrates how folklore can be embedded within mainstream entertainment without feeling outdated. Even in dramas without actual spirits, such as The Glory, they reflect folklore moral structure. The series follows a woman seeking long-term revenge against her former bullies. Though there are no demons and rituals, the plot emphasizes moral retribution and balance. Media analyses have pointed out that the show resonates with many viewers as it frames justice as inevitable. In traditional folklore, wrongdoing can create imbalance that has to be corrected eventually. The Glory translates that spiritual principle into psychological and social context. This suggests that folklore influences not just fantasy genres, but also modern revenge thrillers and social drama. The rising popularity of folklore in Korean media can be explained in various ways. First, folklore provides symbolic tools to address modern anxieties, such as trauma, inequality, corruption, and unresolved pain. Supernatural or karmic frameworks make these issues emotionally powerful and narratively satisfying. Second, with the expansion of the Korean wave, culturally specific storytelling brings a competitive advantage. Rather than copying Western narratives, Korean creators take from local traditions, creating unique global content. Finally, folklore is very flexible. It can be featured in horror films, animations, romantic fantasy dramas, or revenge narratives. Its core structure, which is imbalanced into restoration, can be easily adapted across many genres. The growing presence of traditional Korean folklore in modern film and television is not simply nostalgia. It also represents a strategic blending of heritage and modern storytelling. From the ritual ambiguity of the wailing, to the pop mythology of K-pop demon hunters, to the karmic afterlife in Hotel de Luna, and the moral reckoning of the glory, folklore continues to influence Korean narratives in many ways. Rather than being diminished in the globalized era, Korean folklore continues to evolve, proving that centuries-old beliefs can still resonate with modern, global audiences.